Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to discuss about Phylum Annelida. So we'll discuss about other phylums under the kingdom Animalia. And today we're going to learn about the segmented worms. So we're going to learn about the characteristics, their classification, and their importance. Okay. So this aspect is very important to people who are really, though for secondary school level, they're going to ask a question like this in your exams. So people who study zoology, or they find this topic in biology very helpful and very interesting. Okay, so members of these phylums they're called segmented worms. Okay, because their body is divided into series of ring-like segments. If you look at this picture, you can see how it looks. They look like a ring. So we have different ring-like segments. So we call these all segmentations, and this is common in this phylum annelids. Okay, so just to get a picture of what the body looks like. So these annelids, they are more advanced than roundworms because they possess some certain features. So the first one here you can see, because don't forget we did my last video, I talked about the roundworms here. So that's why I make a reference to the roundworms. So now the body has what we call a true cavity called the solium. So as we go further in the video, I will give you a clear understanding of what the solium is. Because in all my videos for now, I'll be making reference to the word solium. So the next thing here, they have a closed circulatory system. All right. And the next point here is that they have a well-developed organ system. All right. So let's go further in the video where I explain these three major points for you to get a clear understanding of what it means. All right. So if you look at this picture here, I'll just give you two overview of what an open circulation is and a closed circulation is. So you can see in the closed circulation here, this is the heart. So the blood does not leave the vessels, it doesn't leave the veins. The blood is pumped from the heart and they move around the arteries and the veins to other parts of the body where they're needed. So there's no form of any opening. So the blood doesn't leave the arteries or the blood vessels and go elsewhere. That's why you could have mostly called what the closed circulatory system. That's a very important point you need to take into consideration. So it is a classification here. Your kingdom is Animalia. Don't forget this, very important. The phylum is Annelida, and the common name is the segmented worms because they have different segments that look like a ring. So for the habitats where you can find these beautiful species, so you can find them in the moist soil. Okay, you can find them in the freshwater habitats. You can also find them in the marine habitats, and you can find them in the damp leaf litters. When you want to take if you raise a leaf from the soil, it's damp. When you say something damp means it's moist. So in the damp leaf litters, like in the forested region where leaves normally fall from trees, you can see this species, the earthworms and the other species of annelids walking around this environment. So just a good example, just a picture presentation. So you can see the earthworm, which is very common, yeah. And you have your leech, which is very dangerous. You have your nereis, and you have your tubifex worms. Okay, so this is just a picture. You can go through it. It look very beautiful, and just familiarize yourself with how they look like and the names. Okay, so let's go through some 12 defining traits of phylum and a leader to give an overview of the general characteristics. Okay, so we're going to go them one after the other. Okay, so the first one is they are multicellular organisms, and I always make reference to that. Multicellular means they have many cells. All right, so they're composed of different specialized cells, unlike unicellular. Okay, then the next one here, the body are segmented, which I've explained before. So each segment, we go back now. Each segment are separated internally and externally. All right, and this segmentation improve flexibility and movement. So it helps them to be more flexible and help them to move around. So for the next one, they exhibit what we call bilateral symmetry. If you are very familiar with my videos, you know I always make reference to symmetry. All right, and if you look at this picture here, you can see how it looks like. So a bilateral symmetry is here is a kind of a central point that divides the organism into two equal parts. It's called bilateral. I can see this one here in radial, but I don't refer to radial, but bilateral symmetry. All right. So the next one here is their triploplastic. I always make reference to how the body is being arranged. So you have three parts of the ectoderm, you have the mesoderm, and the endoderm. The ectoderm, the outer parts, outer layer. Mesoderm is the middle layer, while the endoderm is the inner layers. So these are the three gems of the species. Then they have what we call a trusodium. So I'm going to use the opportunity to explain what this trusodium is all about. So before then, let's just go through what they do. So what this sodium does for this organism is that it helps to protect internal organs. All right. And the next thing is that it provides spaces for organs development. And the third point here, it acts as hydrostatic skeleton during movement. So hydrostatic skeleton is just like that fluid-like skeleton, unlike we humans that has bones and all that, or some animals that have shells. Okay, so their own skeleton is hydrostatic because hydro means liquid water. It means their skeleton is in form of what? Fluids. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see this is solium. This is where the solium is located. They have a mesoderm, ectoderm, and endoderm. Now you can see how the solium looks like. Okay, so it's like a fluid-like cavity which is found within the species. Okay, so just say a solium like let me see. Okay, for example, just to explain what solium is. Now this is a backpack, for example. Now just say okay, this backpack is what is the body cavity, the body walls that cover the organism. All right. Then the books inside the backpack, your books, your pen, and everything. See all those things like an organ, like the organ and the body. Then the spaces between those books. All right, the spaces between those books are called what the solium. You understand? At the solium. So all those spaces is where you have those flow-like what cavities. So for example, when you ask this question in WAEC or in your exams, what is a solium? You give them this clear definition that a solium is a flow-like cavity between the body wall and the digestive tract, lined by a layer of tissue called what? The mesoderm. So this is what you need to know about the sodium. So in my video, I'm gonna tell you that okay, if I come across sodium, maybe my next video or in the video, I can tell you, hey, please go and watch annelids so you can get a clear understanding of what a sodium is. Okay, the next point is they have a complete digestive system, and this system is composed of the mouth, your pharynx, esophagus, your crop, your gizzard, your intestine, and your anus, where the waste is being what expelled from the body. Okay, so the next thing is what they possess a closed circulatory system. Okay, and blood flows within blood vessels throughout the body. So the blood flow within. So through the veins within, not outside, within. Also, it's called a closed circulatory system. And they have a well-developed nervous system. You know, nervous system is just a system that makes you to react to different external stimuli and all. So you can see they have what they call the nerve core. They have your cerebral ganglion and cerebral and other cerebral ganglion. You can see how it looks like here. So one of these points, and it's very important for you to take notice, the nervous system contains the brain, the ventral nerve cord, the nerve cord, and the nerve is extended to each segment. So that's what makes them very nervous. And one good example, one good evidence to prove this is I'm very sure that we're all familiar that when you put a salt in water and you have a worm there, you know how they react. You see them moving around. Why? Because they react to the worm, to the salt. Sorry. So in terms of respiration, so they have what we call the moist skin. So now your earthworm and the leeches, they have a moist skin. Okay, so this help them in respiration. That's why you can see them mostly in you can see them mostly in fresh water. I can see them inside the fresh water and all that. Then they have gills. Some marine annelids, such as the nereis, has gills for respiration. Okay, so very important for you to know. Then the next thing, excretion. Excretion is very important to know about the excretion. So they have a specialized organ called the nephridia. Don't forget about this. This kind of question normally come out in a multiple choice question. Very important, nephridia. All right. So it's very important to take note of that. In reproduction, so earthworms, they are mostly what hermaphrodites, which means they have both the male and the female reproductive organs. Okay, so they usually exchange sperm with another earthworm before fertilization. All right, and some annelids have separate sexes. Separate sexes means you can have a male annelid, you can have a female annelid. So that is that. Okay. So the next thing we need to know here is how we call the city. This is how the city looks like. It's found within the segments. Okay. And this city helps in gripping, help the annelids to be able to grip to the soil, and it also helps in aiding movement for them to move from one place to another, and it prevents slipping. So prevent them from spring water to slip. Those segments help them to be able to stay grip to the soil to prevent them from being slipping away. So it's very important. So one important note here, if you look at this footnote underneath, is that leeches do not have city. All right, leeches are, they have this smooth surface, so they don't have what we call the city. All right, so very important to know. So adaptation or analysis, you just kind of like a summary about how they look like. So let me just go them quickly. So they have segmented body that help for movement efficiently. They have a city which help with gripping and locomotion. They have a moist skin for respiration. They have a strong muscles which help them to burrow into the soil. They have a closed circulatory system which help for efficient transport of nutrients and oxygen. They have a true solium which supports internal organs and movement. So you can get to pen and barrel. I see a pen on the barrel. What am I saying? Get a book and the barrel and write these important points. It's going to help you out for you to remember and prevent you from want to start looking for this part in the video and again. Okay, so the next thing we need to know here is what the economic importance. So I can't make a video without making reference to economic importance. All right. So the first thing is that they help to improve the soil, because most of the time you find them in the soil, so they help to increase the fertility. So earthworms mix with organic matter into the soil and enrich it with good nutrients. Sometimes the earthworm can also die to the soil and also add nutrient to the soil, so they're very important in agriculture. And for soil aeration, so earthworm, they tend to burrow into the soil to create spaces involving root growth. So when they create spaces, the roots can easily get good air. So you can see this earthworm here, which burrows into the soil. So this help for air, oxygen to be able to get into the soil and help for soil aeration. Okay. So the next thing they do is help for decomposition, which help to break down dead plants and dead animal to form what they call the humus. And the humus is a well decomposed organic matter. This is a very good example of a humus. This is how the humus look like. You can see that all the decomposed matters are easily, that have actually decomposed completely and make the soil to be very fertile. All right. So the next thing is what we call vermicomposting, just kind of like a form of compost and manure that help to convert organic waste into nutrient-rich compost, and this can be used in agriculture to improve crops and other important activities. So fish baiting, you can use them to go and fish, to catch fishes. Like all the fishermen, they use them to catch a lot of different species of organic of aquatic organisms that take worm as a part of nutrition. So you can use that. You can see this hook here. So when they feed on this worm, the hook is able to catch them. Okay, so it's a very nice and systematic way. So this is a very good example of a leech. Okay, like I told you, a leech doesn't have a city. Okay, and it helps leech are used in surgery to improve blood circulation in attached tissues. So this is one of the importance. And we have some harmful importance of annelids. Leech are blood sucking. They are parasitic. They suck blood from humans and animals. Okay, they have suckers which help them to suck blood. And what they do is they also destroy crops. They damage young plant roots, and this affects agriculture. Okay, so I just want to give you just a clear differences between annelids and nematodes. All right, so you can see that in nematode they have cylindrical body, while that for annelids are segmented. So a nematode unsegmented, annelid segmented. Nematode have a pseudocilium, while annelid true cilium. No circulatory system in nematode, while annelid closed circulatory system. No city, while city is present in annelids. And a good example of a nematode, you have ascaris, hookworm, and an example of annelid, you have your earthworm and your leech. And just a quick difference between them. So a summary table for everything here we've done. So common name, segmented worm for Annelida. Symmetry, bilateral symmetry. The body is cylindrical and segmented. Trosulum, the digestive system is complete. Circulation is closed. Respiration is moist skin or gills. Then example, you have your leech and your nares. So you can just take that as a summary for everything. So just important notes, just for you to test yourself. You can see you have your members of phylum Annelida are commonly known as segmented worms. Very important. All right. And for the next question here, which of the following belongs to phylum Annelida? You have your earthworm. So it's very important that earthworm is not your tapeworm, it's not your ascaris, it's not your hydra. Okay. Then the excretion organs of annelids, you have your nephrida, very important. It's your nephrida. All right. Then which circulatory system is found in annelids? So you need to know that it's a closed circulatory system. Okay. So very important. All right. So these are some questions you can use to just play around. You have your question. So just like define the phylum Annelida, state 6 characteristics of annelids, explain the function of CT in earthworms, state 5 economic importance of earthworms, and differentiation between nematodes and annelids. So these are just key things that you need to know from this video. And if you can answer this question, you've gotten a very important point. All right. So all you need to do, just keep watching my videos, subscribe to my videos, share my video to your classmates, your friends. All right. Because very soon, just important information, I'll also start my live lecture when I'll be teaching live, my live lessons online. Okay. So very soon, just keep following my video. I'll make an announcement. So my live lecture, I'm going to start teaching live lessons. All right. So I'll be teaching important bio topic and I'll take my time, and that will be a view classroom style. My live lesson will be in a real classroom style. I'm teaching you, I'm testing you to know if you understand. Then you can see different views from people, questions and answers and everything. So it's going to be very interesting. So this is something you have to look out for. All right. So I'm going to see you in my next video where we'll discuss about the next phylum. And thank you for watching my video to this point, and see you next time. Goodbye.